You didn't light it right, Dave. You're live.
Hey, everybody.
Look at us.
Oh, okay. I was worried because it was getting really dark. So this is the first of, I can't hear anything to this. Hopefully many live broadcasts we'll be doing. This is the bare bones setup. I'll go into it in a little bit later, but it's a really cool setup here with two computers. And well, they have the audio board still, but my SLR and everything, and just like whenever I try something really cool and interesting, yeah, didn't work.
Hi, Amanda.
So I don't want to sound too NPR-y about it, but I'll get back to that in a little bit.
Oh, Duchess is here too. Hi, Duchess.
Oh, cool. She's a fan of yours.
Yeah.
So good to see everyone. So today I walked around Universal and shot some new stuff. I'm going to show you in the video, but a little preview is there's a new entrance for the Mummy roller coaster, the Revenge of the Mummy, which is what people say is the logical entrance. It's the very entrance. Well, the funny thing about that is, like, for the Mummy, you go into the side where it says, what does it say? It's the name of the theater.
Yeah.
And then you go through to where the entrance is going to be now.
Yeah. You used to go this convoluted way, and now you just go.
They had, interestingly, they had one of the portals from Halloween Horror Nights as a temporary entrance. But they are moving the lockers inside. I do have confirmation on that.
Oh, cool.
And I just heard or read a few days ago that they're getting rid of the biometrics type lockers. So when you put your thumb down or your finger and scan that in to unlock, they're taking those out. I believe they're going to be putting in the type of lockers that they have at the Hulk. So your park entry will be your passport.
I guess that works.
Please.
I guess that works, but working at Islands, I know that they have to constantly remind the guests, put everything away except for your pass.
Yeah, I don't know how good of an idea that is, but that's.
I mean, it's a little more practical, but it's easy to just throw everything in there and forget. Oh, my way to get back in is in there.
Yeah, that's the thing about the biometrics. I don't know. Maybe leave a comment below if there was any issues in the past with biometrics not working very well. But it's easy to throw your ticket in the bag or lose your ticket, but you're not going to lose your fingers, I hope. And if you do lose your fingers, you're probably not worried about getting into your locker.
Yeah,
it's probably not your highest priority.
Yeah.
So,
I never had a problem with the biometrics, but working at Islands and around some locker areas, like Bluto's
table.
Yeah. Working around Popeye and Bluto's, working around Ripsaw where you need to use lockers. I'm often asked to go get someone from attractions who's the locker attendant because they didn't know what they were doing and they opened the locker, threw something in, or they were late or something, and now they can't get into the locker. So maybe that's what they're thinking. Maybe they've got too much feedback about, the lockers. I don't know.
I don't know. I sometimes will go on Men in Black, but I don't use the lockers very much.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had a problem. The only thing is you have to remember your number, right? That's a weird thing about it. I always figured if you have your biometrics and it's yours, you should just put your finger, your thumb on it, and it will just open the locker. But you have to remember the number as well.
You don't need to remember the number. You can just, I think there's an option to say, forgot my number, or just you can just put your finger and
it always asks me for the number. I'm like, okay.
It's a little bit easier. It's quicker. Yeah. If you remember your number, you just go doo-doo-doo, and that's it.
Yeah. Luckily, I always remember it. Usually I take my phone anyway, so I have that. I have my I take a picture of it, and usually I remember it anyway. So the one time I won't take a picture is the one time I'll forget.
Are you ready for Q and or A?
Well, we have
We have
need
2
a
viewers.
question. So it's not necessarily Q&A. It's just responding to comments more. But also in the background, this is smaller print than we were expecting.
Yeah,
we're getting old.
Ooh. Duchess said that she never minded the fingerprints, but she didn't like the facial recognition at the hotels.
Oh yeah, well that's gone.
Okay.
I believe when you say facial recognition, that might be new. What exactly? Because
for the Express.
That's well, that's more of a picture. That is no longer a thing. It right after your mom visited last year, it became your room key is now your Express Pass if you stay on a premium hotel. That is Royal Pacific, Hard Rock, or Portofino.
Yeah.
I saw today that they're starting to remove the plastic coverings for the windows, the protective coverings for Aventura. This guy and this guy will be staying there, and
yeah. So will this guy. Bam, right here.
On what we believe is opening day. So I have a question for you guys. What do you think this is? This is my newest piece of theming, newest piece of background props.
Yeah, it's a little obscure, but if you spend a lot of time in a theme park,
I thought it was.
You've seen that
a lot. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. They finally have the name of the hotel on top of it. It faces I-4, so it's kind of hard to shoot it. So I went all the way out to Volcano Bay and got a decent shot. Actually, got a pretty decent shot from the parking garage for Sapphire Falls.
And hi, Rob.
Yeah, hi. Sorry. I think next time I'll bring my iMac as a bigger screen.
Okay.
So we're just figuring this out. Hopefully you guys like this because we're going to put a lot more into it. This is our first time doing this, so kind of bear with us. That was Merlot who just shook the cameras. You can thank her for that. So about this today. This is a Jurassic World themed Kinder Joy because can't be a Kinder Surprise because I choke and die.
How could you possibly understand that there was something inside it, Dave?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just an American. I'm not smart, sophisticated like a European.
Sit down. Sit down. Be still. You're being bad, okay?
Merlot thinks this is for her boat, but no.
What is it, Dave? What could it be?
It's tasty and delicious.
Oh, yeah?
And it's something that's getting all the dogs interested. Oh, tail knocking over cables.
Sit down, Marlo. Just sit. Good girl.
So, you making me say one?
I auditioned for Horror Nights. Nom 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 nom.
That's very good.
I haven't heard yet. Hopefully things will go well. I'm not sure who is the Horror Night fan in here. Maybe it's all three of you. But I'm definitely looking forward to Trick or Treat.
Oh yeah, and we can't show you because it's back of house, but we are able to watch some of the progress of the houses.
Yeah,
it's inside the building, so even we can't see in. But it's one of those things that's neat about being working there is that we can see stuff like that.
We can kind of poke our head in, take a quick little look, and then that's about it. So we're not getting that much of a sneak peek.
Although last year it was cool for Scarecrow. The corn that was in the field was actual corn that we were able to go by every once in a while and watch actually grow. It wasn't like prop corn. It was actual corn that grew from seed right there on property.
And hi, Buccaneer. And Duchess says, great party, isn't it?
After the craziness.
Duchess is going to do both Hollywood and Orlando this year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
We want to.
Yeah, tell us what that's like, because they often have the same houses every year. Like there was 2 Shinings on both coasts, but very different houses. And I didn't like the way they used their bear in Hollywood. The bear was just kind of on the side and just rattled something. That was a little bit of a waste. And my character was on a monitor, which is fine because
it's a theme park, so there's lots of monitors.
Well, yeah, and it was also straight from the movie. Great party, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remind you, it's a great party, isn't it?
I don't. But the thing is, with over there, I think it was just the actual video from actual footage from the movie.
Yeah.
So
I did like how Hollywood used the
comes with the skeleton.
Oh.
Or a skeleton, as they said in was that Shaun of the Dead, or is that no? That was Hot Fuzz.
Oh.
And then you put the meat on the bones.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So it's kind of like 2 toys in one.
But the tail still is just still bone, right?
Rawr.
It's a dinosaur, speaking dinosaur.
Show it to the side.
When it walks, the ground goes boom. It's a dinosaur, speaking dinosaur, and we almost this weekend saw Jeff Goldblum.
Oh yeah, we went to MegaCon and Jeff Bloom was there.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, Jeff Goldblum.
So download the Magic Kinder app.
You almost said Magic Kingdom.
Kinder is like king. That's not Kinder isn't a word. So, do you have any guesses as to what this is?
Go ahead, post now, guys. What do you think that blue and green is?
It's not the exact colors as the real thing, but well, most of it was because it was paint I already owned, and it's kind of like the colors of Volcano Bay, and that my channel grew a lot because of Volcano Bay. How's the sound? I mean, I tested the sound before, but it's a little echoey in here.
All right. So the guesses are, it looks like Volcano Bay colors, which is correct.
Right.
And Buccaneer says a blue and green wall, which is, you're on the right path, Buccaneer. Right. Keep going with that. What do you see in theme parks all the time? Give me a second. Let me read your name. Phenomenal Brandy. Got it right. Rob says the audio sounds great. Duchess says it sounds good.
Oh, cool.
And Rob says everything looks great. Thank you, guys.
Everything is awesome. Well, thank you.
So, Phenomenal Brandy got it.
It is, exactly. It is a construction wall.
And Buccaneer got it, too.
Oh, cool. Yep. I figured because, well, several things. I'm going to shoot more towards this window and without having the window in the set. But also because it's at every theme park. So, it's like part of theme parks now.
Yeah.
And I joked in one of the video recently. I said they should put like little model versions of the construction wall in the gift shops because it's just a part of every bit of part of a theme park is roller coasters and restaurants.
Yep.
And Stella is chewing on her little bone over there.
Pardon our dust.
Yeah. So I'm using something called eyeglasses. It's a piece of software which I think it was like $20. I'm using this on a Mac with the FaceTime camera. It gives you like crazy amounts of control over the image. That's why it's not like blown out. It's looks pretty good for a built-in webcam. Unfortunately, the sound you hear in the background is a fan because if I try anything on this computer, the fans start going like crazy. It's an older computer.
Yeah.
But it's not too bad.
I think it works.
I have my microphone on. He's using the it's the wrong way, isn't it? The boom mic, which is supposed to be. Excuse the sound. Facing towards him, and of course, my dog Stella is walking around here, and little Merlot is on the floor.
Duchess says she can't hear the fan, so I think we're in the clear.
Cool. All right. I thought I heard it earlier when I was listening straight from the board. So it's hard to tell.
Mm.
I did turn it down a little bit. So my crazy setup I had, turns out hopefully I won't bore everyone with tech talk. My SLR doesn't have what they call a clean HDMI output. It can record in high definition, but it can't output to the HDMI in high definition. That was part of the problem. What I had is a Mac Mini, which is really old, but it still works, as the source. I was going to have a pre-roll video and then like add some other video when we talk about things. And then it was going into an HDMI switcher. The camera was coming down into the switcher, and it all went into my iMac. Pretty cool. Didn't work, unfortunately. So what I need to get a video camera one of these days, because the SLR works, but it doesn't work that well.
Mm-hmm.
And the switcher I had was just a consumer HDMI switcher for like if you have multiple inputs and somehow don't have a modern TV. Excuse me, modern TV that has multiple inputs, but every time you switched sources, it glitched out, and then it lost the feed. So the switcher that I am looking at on Amazon is $1,100, but it does some pretty amazing things. So hopefully I'll continue to grow the channel and remember you can go to Amazon from my link in any of my videos. And although there's another piece of software I was looking at that does something similar, that is like $80, which is pretty cool. And if I had an external camera, I can use that as well.
Rob said he's getting in the Canon Mark II for blogging.
Oh, cool.
And he also asked, what is the switcher?
It's basically it takes multiple HDMI inputs. So the camera, the computer. I had the computer going out to an HDMI. It all went into this little box, and then it would just switch. So push a button, it would go from the computer output to the computer to the camera. So it could be full screen, and we can play videos. My idea is when you do these live shows, is little things I shot here and there. I don't really have a place for it in a video. Just play it here. But it turned out to be not possible with the gear I own right now.
Rob asked, what brand is it?
I don't remember. It was something really cheap on Amazon. But
well, give the price range. He wants to check it out.
I think it was like $20. Of course, I don't have my phone with me.
So Rob,
maybe no, it was even less than that. I think it was like $8.
Just go ahead, do a search on Amazon for look under $20.
Yeah, it was less than that. It probably works fine if you just use it for TV to say you're playing an Xbox or something, and then you want to watch you want to switch to a Wii or a Blu-ray player or something. That little glitch, it's not that big of a deal.
No, not the $1,200 one, Rob. It's he said it was like $8.
Yeah, the cheap one wasn't very good. The $1,100 one is more professional, so it has different effects and like a fader, and it won't have that glitch. But it's,
he wants to look at the $1,200 one.
Oh, yeah.
He also made a suggestion. Detracting for a second, he said you need to add your affiliate link in the description below. The description, there is no link.
Oh, it should be in there. I'll add that in later. Thank you. But normally maybe it doesn't get added automatically to live stream, but most of the time it's already added into the bottom of the link. And I usually add an Amazon product that's relevant to the video. Like I just uploaded my final Volcano Bay video till September 30th. Although we just went to a financial thing today. A job. It was like a job fair, but it was for companies that offer financial help.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a raffle for no blackout date compasses to Volcano Bay. So if I win, you guys win, because
cool.
I'll add that. I mean, obviously I'll go back before September 30th, which will be nice. But as of right now, our IDs are blocked out until September 30th, which is a long time.
Rob is asking, well, first he says he is an Amazon affiliate.
All right.
And he's asking, which one was the $1,200 camera?
Oh, it wasn't. Sorry, it was a switcher. That I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name of it right now. It's a name that I hadn't heard of before, but it has different options of wipes and dissolves and things like that. And there's a way to fade between between sources. HDMI is just one of them. There's SDI and a few others. I would just use HDMI. I could probably get like a decent price, like a cheap camera I can use. Although last night I found a piece of software that uses my USB in my SLR that somehow works. Sends a clean. So my question is, I wanted to use that today for the stream, but I have to log into my YouTube account through that software. That's the one I mentioned a little bit ago. That was like $80. And,
okay.
That will put in an automatic countdown, which is pretty cool, like a little overlay window, and I can drop in video clips and it'll play full screen. It does everything I wanted to do, but it's a third-party developer that I'm not familiar with, and I would have to give them my username and password. I don't know if I'd really want to give a third-party developer my YouTube password.
And my thinking of it is that Rob says he uses
Ecamm Live. That's what it is.
Okay. All right. Then, all right.
And it's pretty full featured. Apparently it was $30 when it came out, but it isn't anymore. It just, but yeah, that's the software. But I just don't know if I trust some random developer with my login credentials for my YouTube channel.
Now we have a few questions right now. All right. So Buccaneer asks, what do we think the new coaster will be at IOA? And Duchess asks for a park question. Have we heard any rumors about what is going to replace Terminator?
No, we haven't heard anything. I know it's a show of some sort. As far as the coaster, all we know is it's a family coaster. I'm not sure if that's something that I would be able to go on, because I'm not. He'll go on it no matter what. But if you have been to the park, the kids coasters like Flight of the Hippogriff and Woody Woodpecker's Nut House coaster, like I can handle that, but Revenge of the Mummy is too much for me. So
now I have heard that what is replacing Dragon Challenge is it's another coaster, Harry Potter themed.
That we know.
Yeah, it's going to be family friendly, which is what he was saying, like along the lines of Woody Woodpecker's Nut House coaster or Flight of the Hippogriff. So a very mild coaster.
It might be a little more intense than that, but we don't know yet. I kind of surprised. I thought they would go something a little more intense because they're replacing a coaster that was a little more intense. You've obviously been on it. How does that rate as far as the other coasters within Universal?
What, Dragons?
How did it? Yeah, how Dragon?
It depended. The blue had a lot more turns and flips. So it was kind of like Hulk. The red was faster, and you definitely felt the speed on red. All right. So Rob says that the Ecamm Live is great. Becky Max says that she loves your channel, and
thank you.
She particularly likes the 360 videos. Yeah.
I don't know why those don't do better. I already returned the 360 camera, but I have a whole bunch of other stuff I shot. When I had the GoPro, I shot a few of the on-site hotels. I have shot the other, except for, of course, Aventura. I'm going to be releasing those a little bit at a time. They are extremely processor intensive to process and to post. But when I get really busy with work, those are kind of videos I can put up whenever because it's not really tied into something that's happening then. It's not like the Gear Shop for example, that like when that first opened. I'm a little bummed that very few people have watched my 360 walkthrough of the queue for Fast and Furious, but I don't know. Maybe it's not as popular because not too many people know about them, not like know what they are. You might have seen that I have put a bit of a disclaimer in the front of it, so if people are just watching it and they're like, "Ooh, this isn't a very good video," if they don't, the few people who might not know, if you're watching on a desktop to drag around. The cool thing is when you have your phone and you just go like this and it moves around in space, which is pretty cool. I also actually from Dave and Buster's with tickets, I bought a cheap but it works headset that works with my phone, which is nicer now that I have a better phone, because I had a 6S Plus at one point and left it on the beach to go walk my dog, and it seemed like a pretty safe beach, but came back, no bag.
Yeah. I remember that.
So I went down to an iPhone 5. If you know the iPhones at all, it's a much smaller phone. It didn't really fit so well in that VR headset. But I'm back. I now have an 8 Plus, which will be my phone for several years now. Never been someone to get a new phone every year. It just money.
All right, now we got a few questions. So first, Becky Mack asked if we're going to be doing a tour of Aventura, and we're going to be staying. We're going to be staying opening night. So you guys expect a video for Aventura. We'll probably shoot the room, shoot the halls, and like the various attractions in the hotel. I'm sure there's going to be some.
Yeah, it's their smallest hotel. It's kind of ridiculous to see the size difference between how much space Portofino takes up and a little bit that Aventura. But yeah,
I did hear that they're going to have a bar type place up on the roof.
Oh yeah, Bistro 17.
Yeah.
Bistro 17. Yeah.
All right.
And and that's going to be open to everybody. You don't have to be staying at the hotel. You just have to be there.
All right. So just Rob recommends the Cam Live. Becky said that she watches your 360 videos on her VR headset.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's pretty. I have to say my favorite so far is the one I did just like last second when we played air hockey. It's pretty crazy to sit and look around in with the VR headset watching us play air hockey.
And she particularly Becky Mack likes the People Mover one.
Oh yeah. I was like debating whether or not to do that because I'm like, oh, so many people have done that. But yeah, it's an old and simple ride, but I try to go on that every time because it's just cool.
All right, so Buccaneer says that the Fast and Furious queue is art, and it's very cool.
Yeah.
And Phenomenal Brandy asks, do we both work in the parks? Yes, we do.
Yep.
I am Park Services, Islands of Adventure. You are.
I am everything else, pretty much. I am an event guide, is what the official title is. But what I love about the job is we're always doing other things. Like last night, I was working a corporate event for several different corporations, ones you've heard of, but I can't say. Last year, I worked in Volcano Bay a lot, helping with guest service because it's a brand new park. It was new to us, and of course, it was at capacity every day. So. Just helping the staff, and a lot of we work parades. It's so many things we do.
I am full time, so that means I'm pretty much stuck to one area most of the time, which it can get old, but I mean, at least you know what you're doing. Yeah. But being with Park Services, I've worked everywhere in Islands of Adventure, several places in Universal Studios, several places back of house, including off-site places, which is very cool. I actually like that.
He's actually seen some top secret stuff that he can't even tell me. Like literally, he can't tell me.
Yeah, I had to sign a non-disclosure agreement walking into the building. Like that's how big of a deal it was.
Yeah. How long have you known each other? We just met earlier today, right?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. I'm
Fred. I'm Ryan.
Oh.
No, we met in I believe it was August
1997.
Yeah.
It was my birth month too.
Yeah.
It was the year that I moved. I moved in January of 97. Really cool time in my life, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just I didn't do so well in my first college, which was a little place in Vermont. Interestingly enough, I had math class with someone you may have heard of, Russell Cosby.
I don't know who that is. Who is that?
If there's a comedy album from, it used to be a wholesome guy. His name is Bill Cosby.
Oh.
To Russell, my brother, which I slept with, I believe it's something like the title. I didn't sleep with him, but I had math class with him, and he's really cool.
Oh, cool. All right.
I was up there for one semester, and then I came down to go to the community college with a program that we were both in to help people with issues become independent, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent 4 years in a 2-year college.
It's okay. Look,
and then when I graduated, I decided I didn't want to do what I studied anyway.
And that happens too. That really does.
But then I went to the Art Institute. One of the things that struck me immediately about the Art Institute was everybody. If you go to like any college as a sophomore or freshman, but probably more so a community college, like people are like, well, I want to go to college because like that's what you do. Like everybody at the Art Institute was like, this is what I'm doing. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to get there. And like they knew exactly what they were doing and why they were there. It was pretty amazing.
But I always found like sometimes you don't know what you want to do going into college. You're like, well, I guess this, and then All right, so Buccaneer met you at an event once.
Oh, cool.
Rob Fuzz likes watching the 360 of the Fast and Furious. And he asked, what 360 camera do you have?
Right now, I don't have any. I tried the GoPro, or sorry, it wasn't the GoPro, the Nikon Key Mission 360, which is okay. The nice thing about that is it stitched the video in the camera. So when it was one camera card. When I put it into the computer, it was ready to go. I just put it into Premiere Pro, and it's a flat video, which means you can edit it as any other video. And then when it uploads to YouTube, it has certain metadata to tell it how to move around, or that it is a 360 video. The GoPro was the one I just tried recently, and that is $700.
Yeah.
And it shoots okay, but it's terrible in low light, and that actually uses two cards. One, it shoots video with each camera separately, and then you have to use their software to stitch it together, and that is extremely time consuming because it uses a lot of processing power. So, which is okay, it just takes a long time, and kind of ties up the computer for a while. There are plus and minuses to both.
Mm-hmm.
The GoPro is supposed to be 5.2K, but no matter what I tried, it always uploaded as 4K, which is fine. It's just you kind of lose a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a long time. I had to go through tech support to find out the resolution, because I always like to, or not the resolution, the bit rate. Because I always like to encode everything I upload at the bit rate the camera shoots, because anything higher is just wasting space, and anything lower is sacrificing quality. I'd rather wait for a 3-hour upload and give you guys the highest quality the camera can get,
mm-hmm.
rather than compressing it way too much and just go for a convenient upload.
All right, so Rob Fuss thanks you for the 360 tips.
Oh, you're welcome.
And Phenomenal Brandy asks, and you're going to laugh. Actually, no, it's a comment, not a question. She likes the videos where it's the both of us, because she likes the banter that we both share.
Yeah.
And she said that I'm like Patrick and you're like SpongeBob.
You're not the first person who called him Patrick.
Yeah, that's why I said he was gonna laugh.
This one kind of had to be because I'm always the gear guy, and you're always the sit there and talk guy.
Yeah.
But seriously though, especially the elaborate set, I hope to get to that someday with the pre-rolls and stuff like that. But for right now, I don't have to do this much. But like, you know, right now you're helping with the comments.
Yeah.
So when one of us is occupied by something like the audio levels or I figured I'd be looking at like images to pop up on the screen. There's always somebody to speak. Or in this case, like you're reading the comments because you're a little bit closer to the screen.
Yeah.
And you know when I'm talking, if I'm eating some chocolate, you're filling in. So that works pretty well. And
Duchess agrees that we're really funny together, and she adds in a good way.
Right. Oh, thank you. Not just looks.
Yeah.
But I moved up to if you look on my channel, there's a video of why I think it's something like why I don't like December 20th.
Oh yeah.
And I moved up to Orlando because of I had to get out of the county where I live because of a whole string of terrible events that happened. And like, well, I still want to live in Florida. Well, we are in Orlando a lot. Like there was one year a few years back when I drove up to Orlando 8 times in a year.
I think that was for Horror Nights 25.
It might have been, but I was there for other times of the year. Usually I bring him because, like, you know, it's the same drive no matter what. Yeah. And we were both annual pass holders, so like, why not?
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, you're working, and I would just literally get up and like, I'm gonna go to the park today. Yeah. So I do that.
And now we can most certainly do that.
Yeah. Now it's a very short drive.
Yeah.
So, as opposed to the 3.5 hours it used to be. I don't miss the drive. There's just a little bit of I don't know, magic that we don't have anymore of getting ready for it. And I would put together this whole long playlist on a remember those things, the
compact disc.
Oh yes. And it would put a whole lot of time into arranging a playlist. It was sort of like our own personal Bill and Ted, so it was like a lot of references to pop culture and things in our lives. Would always be for every Halloween Horror Nights. We kind of missed that, but now we get into Halloween Horror Nights for free. So
yeah, and if things go well, I'll be working as his character for Halloween Horror Nights. So we'll see.
And I am looking into tomorrow. I actually have an interview to go to a different company. Hopefully full time, but we'll see. But I'm still going to try to stay on with Universal as long as I can because, you know, benefits. But obviously I still need to get into the park all the time because just today I was there to shoot some video. So back here I've been thinking about making a video about all the different things. This shelf of things back here, items, they're all different pieces of from different videos. Like this guy here, Sonic, is actually from before Orlando, but it's relevant to the parks. It's basically before I started Orlando, we were kind of doing it already. So it was from Horror Nights 20, I believe.
Yeah, Horror Nights 20. The first time we went, we played one of the games, and that was one of the prizes.
I've heard something about it, but not very much. I don't know how likely that is. Another thing I was thinking about a few days ago is Steven Spielberg has a lot of control over the park. That's why E.T. is there. If you ever wondered why the Lost Continent is still there and Hogsmeade isn't bigger, well, it's probably multiple reasons. One is they probably knew it was going to be big. Harry Potter was going to be big for Universal. They didn't know how big. But also, Steven Spielberg has an agreement with Universal that Jurassic Park has to be the biggest island in the park. And if Harry Potter took up the area it takes up and all of Lost Continent, I believe it would have been larger than Jurassic Park, and he wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that he's not going to be too controlling of the new land that they recently purchased, but we'll see.
And hi, Craig. Welcome.
Hello.
Oh, Duchess made a suggestion that they should do a Ready Player One ride.
Is that a Universal movie? A picture?
I forget who did it, but I know Steven Spielberg was part of it. So,
there's a pretty good chance there.
And I've heard. I don't know how true it is. I've never seen him in person, but I've heard Steven Spielberg is part of the creative team.
Oh yeah, yeah. He is from the very beginning.
Yeah.
He helped open the park. So
yeah,
we did actually stand next to Wax Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. Over at Madame Tussauds.
Yeah.
Buccaneer 22 says, I still think Lost Continent needs a retheme. Maybe not Harry Potter, but something else.
Yeah.
Judges says he directed Ready Player One.
Oh, okay.
I thought so, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, and of course, I don't know if anybody predicted that Jurassic World would be as big as it is, which I mentioned in my video I shot today. But all we know right now is there are permits pulled for demolition in the Jurassic Park area here in Islands of Adventure. It doesn't specify where. Some people are saying Camp Jurassic. I hope not. If you are visiting Universal anytime soon, you have not gone to Camp Jurassic. It's actually, I didn't go for a long time because I'm thinking I'm not a kid anymore. Well, mentally maybe I am, but and I don't have kids. So why would I want to go to the kids area? Well, that was a mistake. If you have not checked out Camp Jurassic, it's really awesome.
It's also, and we're not saying anything, but it's also a good idea to always go on old attractions because you never know. Like nobody ever heard anything about Terminator 2 going away until like the last minute.
We kind of figured it probably would at some point because the movie is getting pretty old. And the attraction was getting old, unfortunately. I love the show, but the image quality and the projection was really going bad. The giant robots that came up sometimes didn't. The sliding sides, I guess I don't have to worry about spoilers anymore.
Oh yeah.
The two screens on either side were covered when you first came in, which is pretty cool because you thought it was only one screen. And the big reveal. And then there's sometimes the screens would just be revealed from when you walked in. So they needed to do some work, but I thought it was safe for a while because the pre-show, they redid the video and it looked amazing. They reused some of the video, but it was film. You may not realize, but 35 millimeter film is roughly the equivalent of 4K. So it is higher quality, significantly higher quality than high definition. So they could use the film even with a 4K projector and it would still look good. Some of the movies, a lot of the video in the actual attraction was 72 millimeter film, which is IMAX, like proper IMAX, not the little mini IMAX that they have, which is pretty impressive. I think to the last day it was still film because even now, getting the digital equivalent is about 8K, and that would be hard. And remember, it's even if they put 4K projectors together and stitched them, you remember it's 8K both ways, or 8K. Even if they did that, it's 3D, so it would have to be 8 projectors, and then there's the 3 screens. It would be a huge investment. So being that it's, the franchise was getting a little bit older and the sequels were kind of disappointing, they decided just to get rid of it. But it did last a lot longer than I expected it to, honestly.
All right. So both Phenomenal Brandy and Buccaneer came up with the same idea. They think it should be where the old Triceratops encounter was.
That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that I would. It would really be nice to see where just to see the Triceratops encounter, because I never got to see it. By the time we became team members and I felt a little more comfortable walking around back of house, the animatronics were gone.
Yeah.
I don't recommend walking back there.
Someone got permanently banned for doing it.
Well, I didn't know about that, but also they haven't kept up. So things are like trees have fallen in the path, and the path is really hard to follow. So basically, it's a safety hazard, and safety is universal.
Now, am I thinking correctly that Raptor Encounter is part of where Triceratops used to be?
It's a very small area.
Okay. All right,
they do use one of the buildings that was part of the Triceratops encounter for the team members, and they put a trailer back there. But and there's another trailer they are using right now, but it's a lot of dead space. Apparently,
that's what I'm talking about, Brandy.
Yeah. I heard that it was because it was the Jimmy Fallon grand opening that he was yelling and being obnoxious, but that helps too. He also, Adam Lewu also, if you don't mind reading the chat, he also went into the old Nickelodeon studios and walked around, and that's just trespassing. I mean, there's no.
It makes for cool videos, but yeah,
that's disrespectful.
All right. So Buccaneer agrees with you. Raptor Encounter is the front of what used to be Triceratops Encounter.
And if you see, there's a big Triceratops skeleton. It's it's supposed to look fossils. That was the sign for Triceratops Encounter. And now it just says Triceratops and Triceratops, and it has some facts about it.
And Duchess was really gutted because she came one single day after Terminator 2 closed.
Oh,
yeah. We're sorry to hear that, Duchess. We really are. We've actually been really lucky with closing attractions.
Especially the magic show.
Yeah, we happened to be in as guests one day during Horror Nights.
This was like I think it was like 3 years into. I think it was the 23.
Yeah, something like that.
So we had been in the park a bunch of times. We had walked past the magic show a bunch of times, and now Merla's growling at something. And we're like, well, maybe we'll see the magic show another day. No, maybe we'll see the magic show another time. When we came up here to vacation, we literally barely had time to sleep. The joke was we rent a hotel room so our dogs have a place to sleep. And that day we're like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's go see the show. And oh my gosh,
it was the last day for the magic show.
It was the last show.
Yeah,
not even the last day. It was literally the last show they were ever going to have. We're like, yeah, okay. I'm sure you'd say that all the time. Like in Disney, they used to say like, oh, you're here. It's a special treat. You're on a special day. They say that for every tour. This time it actually was the final show.
Yeah. So Buccaneer got to see the last show for T2.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Is that where you met me? Probably.
Yeah, because he was there.
Yeah.
I saw the second to last show. I had to go swipe in.
I was lucky. I was working that night, but I had the same supervisor that this guy had the previous year, and it's a great company to work for because they understood. I believe I put in a time off request for that day, but it was neither denied or accepted. So oh wait, no, that was Bill and Ted, but I had just enough time to change and get into my to swipe in. And I told her the whole thing that I loved the Terminator 2 show for a long time, and that she said, well, try to get there on time, but if you're a few minutes late, if we're late, we get deducted points, but they have the authority to override it. And she said if I was a few minutes late, because she knows how much it means to me to be there, that she would overlook it. Luckily, I was able to talk with Brandon from Brandon Blogs actually was in his video that day, and get to where I needed to go to change, and I wasn't late anyway. It was just enough time, so I was lucky to do that. And that day I was like, I decided last minute, like I'm gonna try this live stream thing. I'm gonna put that on. I didn't know it was gonna live stream in standard definition.
So Buccaneer says annual pass night last year is when he met you.
Oh, okay.
And Phenomenal Brandy asks, what do we think about the Star Trek rumors? I haven't heard anything about Star Trek.
I've heard a little bit, but not very much.
What I've heard is about Nintendo World coming up. That's what I've heard.
But I've heard a little bit. That apparently there was a Star Trek thing in Universal Studios when it first opened.
Is it going to be the new school Star Trek that's been coming out for the last few years?
I don't know. I mean, I've heard basically nothing about it. So
Buccaneer also saw you at the last G2 show as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But the main thing was annual pass night.
Yeah. That was like I think 2 or 3 days before my annual pass ran out. This guy still has his.
Yeah.
I just can't justify the price.
I was like, well, this is kind of a stupid purchase, but whatever, you know.
Apparently it happens a lot because there's actually a team member discount for annual passes, even though we get in for free.
Yeah.
The only thing is that you get to go to like annual pass nights and things like that. It's kind of a I'm doing it. It's kind of a good thing that that my annual pass. Well, we both renewed our annual pass, and then we're hired like within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
The good part is that I was able to upgrade my annual pass to get into Volcano Bay for the grand opening, and I got a pretty good view of the grand opening ceremonies. I got there and like, oh, hey, they have food out too. Nice. So that was lucky. But then after that, I'm like, I just can't. I can't afford to pay for something I get into for free. I would have renewed my annual pass to Disney. Just for some reason, my Disney videos just don't do as well as my Universal videos. Actually, none of the videos do as well as Universal. I don't think it's because I prefer Universal, because I try to put in the same amount of enthusiasm and interest and make them make them all equally great. Like we went to Legoland. I mean, that was pretty awesome. Yeah. And I'm getting some views. We need to go back to Busch Gardens again. Yeah. There's a shuttle that takes us over there. We've just been meaning to do that. That's pretty cool. It's more of a thrill coaster thing, so it's more of his thing. But that doesn't get very many views. When we would go to SeaWorld, I mean, that didn't get very many views. Works for us because we're always at Universal anyway. But
Duchess says Busch Gardens, so I think she wants us to go.
Yeah, we do need to go. We also are looking forward to going back to Legoland because we've said many times before. We were looking at it at the bus and like, okay, well, it's gonna take us here at this hour, and we're gonna be there until like till after the park closes. They're like, all right, well, we're gonna see the park, and then what we're gonna do the rest of the day. Yeah, we still have to go back to see a large number of things. Yeah,
that's just theme park for you. Even though Legoland doesn't have Universal's crowds, it's really tough to see everything in a single day.
It looks very, very, very tiny if you look at it on Google Maps. And someone's like, oh no, but there's a lot to do. I'm like, I'm just probably not that much. There is. We wanted to stay in the water park longer. But we're like, we're already wasting a lot of time, or not wasting, but running out of time.
Well, Phenomenal Brandy says that she thinks the Legoland videos were cool.
Oh, thank you.
Buccaneer asked, do we have annual passes to all Florida parks? Pretty much, but no.
Well, we only have actual annual. Well, you have an annual pass to Universal.
Yeah.
I only have the Legoland Awesomer Pass, and the rest of it, Busch Gardens, Universal, and SeaWorld is all benefits of working at Universal.
Yeah. So
we don't get free parking at Busch Gardens or SeaWorld. But
we get admission.
Yeah.
So basically, we kind of do.
And the cool thing is with the SeaWorld, their annual trick or treat thing is not an additional charge like other parks. So we kind of get that too.
Yeah. If you guys are interested, or if you live in Central Florida, the Awesomer Pass is actually not very expensive at all. It's
like $150.
Yeah. And that includes Brick or Treat, which is their Halloween event.
It's the Wax Museum, which I was like, yeah, I guess I'll go see that. I never had any interest in seeing it until that new DC Justice League, which is just awesome. It also includes Sea Life, which we have to go. I have to make sure I say Sea Life, not Sea Lice. We have to go check that out too. We'll do that soon. It includes something in Atlanta. I'm like, that's cool. I'll never go to it, but yay. And it says free parking for the view at 360, but it's free parking for anybody. We do get free parking at Legoland, Florida, but I don't think we're going to go by car because it's a lot easier to drive to view at 360 and just take the bus.
All right. So Phenomenal Brandy suggests that we have a mod. I think we are automatically a mod. We have a bot in the chat. That's why.
I didn't know that.
It's not a bad thing. It's one single post. So I think we're automatically a mod. Although I would have to play around to see where the mod controls are. Becky Mac asks, what are the crowds like in early November? I think she's asking about Universal. If you're asking about Universal, Becky, that's a good time of year to go. Horror Nights has just ended, and
they're starting to play back.
Grinchmas hasn't quite started. I think Grinchmas starts in late November,
It starts pretty close to after Halloween.
Maybe mid-November, but early November, like right after Horror Nights, is a really good time of year to go.
Yeah.
The attendance projections should be pretty low, so like a lot of the busier things won't be so bad.
And then Disney's is crazy. It goes from crazy to crazier.
She's asking Universal primarily. We don't know about other parks. Legoland always seems to be a good time of year.
Yeah, of course we've only gone once.
Yeah.
Busch Gardens, every time we've been there a few times. Every time we're there, it's pretty slow. Even during like the opening weekend we've been there twice now for the opening weekend of Howl-O-Scream.
Yeah.
It's been pretty dead.
Yeah.
Most of the houses are pretty much walk-ons, and that's because both Busch Gardens and Legoland are kind of by themselves. I know Busch Gardens has all of Tampa Bay or Tampa, but it's not a giant draw like Disney or Universal. Universal is still smaller than Disney, but Disney brings people in and then they go to Universal. Legoland and Busch Gardens, they don't have that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Buccaneer also added Cedar Fair. He forgot about Cedar Fair.
Oh, what about it?
He forgot to add that. We've never been to Cedar Fair.
Yeah.
Buccaneer, where is that?
I started to say. These props. I've been collecting them over time. Actually, this one is a video I haven't even shot yet. Just because I figured I'd put them on display someday. Just wondering if there's any interest in like a more in-depth video of them and the story behind them, like the two eggs here from the egg extravaganza at Epcot.
All right. Buccaneer says that Cedar Fair is the chain that runs Kings Island at Cedar Point.
Oh, okay.
The Horror Nights 25 Jack display, that's actually one of the I think more proud achievements.
Yeah, that's something that I wanted to do for several years, and I would go to. It's from a Publix, the local grocery store. They have them. Now I thought I scanned in the cards for that hang there, and I thought I could print them out, but I couldn't find the images of them. I would talk to the manager in the store. I'd say, please save this. Don't throw it away. And I'd come back and, oh, yeah, we threw it away. So it took a team effort to get that.
Well, I just kept talking to all the managers. I was like, I really would like that cardboard display. They're like, yeah, sure. And I just kept reminding them so that nobody forgot. And
that's the answer I got initially too, but then they forgot.
Well, I also spoke to several managers, so like they all kind of knew what was going on.
And then we went from not getting one to 2 stores. Like, you can have ours. I'm like, oh, we only have room for 1.
Yeah.
I've asked this before, but if you for some reason have images of the tickets from that year, I bought a little portable scanner that I was able to scan in the tickets and get the whole thing in. But unfortunately, that was for Halloween Horror Nights 26 and not 25. So I don't have them 25. It would be cool to print them out and hang them up.
Yeah.
Another thing that's cool is tomorrow is the 1st of June, and I will be at the grand opening for the Starflyer. I thought it was the world's largest swing, but it's the world's tallest Starflyer. I kind of haven't really pinned down exactly, but it's tall.
Well, you guys might expect 2 videos for that because he's going to grand opening, and I was like, well, I may as well go on this thing. It looks kind of crazy because it's going as high as the 360 at
the Icon Orlando 360.
Yeah.
When you're on the Icon, it looks like it's lower than it, but on their own website it says it's slightly higher. Now remember, it's got that giant tacky spire on top. So that's the actual swing. The chair is not higher than the Orlando Eye, but the whole tower is like 25 feet taller. But it's still, it's the tower goes higher than the highest point of the formerly Orlando Eye. It's now the Icon Orlando 360.
But it just looks like a pretty intense ride. You're on a swing, hundreds of feet in the air, going around it
pretty fast.
Yeah.
So get your windshield wipers ready. If you're driving along international, you might have some, might have some vomit on your car.
Duchess asks, can you get transportation from Orlando to Howl-O-Scream? And if so, what time does it usually finish? Howl-O-Scream tends.
I know that there's a bus that takes you from Universal Orlando to Busch Gardens, but I don't know if they run that for Howl-O-Scream.
I would imagine they do. However, the
park closes later.
Yeah,
much later for Howl-O-Scream. So I don't know if because the bus would have to leave at like 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah. When does Howl-O-Scream wrap up? Typically.
I don't remember. We paid attention more to when it starts.
Yeah.
I know it doesn't run as long as Halloween Horror Nights.
I think Howl-O-Scream ends at 12 or 1, and Horror Nights is 1 or 2. So we know that there's transportation. We never did check if because during Howl-O-Scream the park closes at 6 p.m.
I think it's a little bit like Horror Nights, but I believe, if I remember correctly, you can stay in the park. You don't have to leave, but we kind of always went to usually go to my car to just transition personally to get something. We always seem to need to go to the car for something.
It's kind of like
and you're welcome.
Yeah,
Duchess.
Duchess says thank you. For Horror Nights, they clear the park, and you need a wristband for the holding areas.
There are 3.
Yeah,
we used to think that you had to leave the park completely, which you don't. You just have to go into a holding area. They sweep everybody else out, and then as soon as they're ready and the houses are ready and everything's ready, they let them out. And
Howl-O-Scream.
No running, please.
You need a wristband for Howl-O-Scream, but there is no holding area. You just kind of
you just walk around.
Yeah. There is a transition of like a downtime where all the rides stop running, and the houses are getting ready to go. And but you don't need to go to holding areas. Just regular guests are leaving, and you can just kind of hang around.
It's big. The rides are closed because then someone can just hide in a queue.
Yeah, yeah.
I heard a rumor that they might be refurbishing the wooden roller coaster that's over there. It's still standing. It's just there.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a maybe.
Busch Gardens also doesn't have the budget that Universal does.
Well, for the reason I said earlier.
Yeah.
There's no big competition to pull people in. There's Tampa, but that's not it's not as the same.
Buccaneer goes RMC, RMC, RMC.
Yeah.
What is RMC?
I believe that's a coaster company that.
Oh.
It might be the company that built that ride. I know it's a coaster company.
Cool.
The weird thing is I don't believe that any roller coasters are built in the United States. And that's not like we're the best. It's just like you'd think that's something that they would build in the United States because it's a lot of steel or wood to maybe they wood coasters, but that's a lot of steel to bring from overseas.
Oh, a fun fact for you guys. So, and I'm going off track, but I thought this was cool. So Universal is really big on recycling because green is universal. So you of course see the recycled trash cans that are all over the parks.
Yeah. And thank you for all those who I see using them and taking the time to actually make sure you put in the correct one.
Yeah.
You save people like this guy over here some time.
Yeah. Some people don't even pay attention. They throw like a bottle in the trash. And but when Dragon Challenge went down, all of that steel was recycled and our recycling went up like 1,200%. Yeah. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And the same with the Hulk. You probably I think it's pretty common knowledge at this point, but in case you don't, a lot of it was sent to a scrapyard, but some of that track is actually still there, where the giant Hulk is holding up the track. That is the original track from that ride.
Plus the old vehicle.
Oh, right. So it was saying that I wasn't sure where he was going with that, but if you do throw your recyclables into the garbage, there are actually people who will go through the garbage and pick every single bit of recycling out.
Well, we can't get everything.
Well, as much as you can.
Yeah, yeah.
But the more you use the recycling cans, the less picking through. We had to do that for Halloween Horror Nights. We actually had an incentive. Some like party when if you were number one recycling. So
Buccaneer has a few comments. First, if they RMC Gwazi, he's going to freak out. And then he said, put steel in any old wood coaster to allow inversions and crazy elements, which would be very cool. So that's what he's talking about.
Maybe
if they put like steel on Gwazi and allowed inversions and weird flips and turns.
Is inversion not? I thought I saw a wooden coaster that inverts, but maybe it was a hybrid. I'm not sure. This is the coaster man. I don't.
I don't know. I've never personally seen a wood coaster that inverts.
Yeah.
It's always been steel, but I mean, I'm sort of an expert. I've never really studied.
Yeah, I think I just happened to run across a.
Buccaneer does say that RMC makes hybrids.
Oh, okay. Other than they look kind of pretty. What is the big draw of a wooden coaster? Because we had one for a while in South Florida, and it has been torn down since then, unfortunately.
Mind blower. What is mind blower? Phenomenal Brandy thought it was wooden. Where is mind blower, Mandy?
I've been seeing a lot about that, but I forget exactly where it is. It's not in our area, so I haven't been able to go.
So Buccaneer says that Hades 360 in Wisconsin inverts. Is that a wooden coaster, Buccaneer?
I thought I saw it. It's like I believe it's a brand new coaster. That's like a new thing for wooden roller coasters. It's
so the mind blower is at Fun Spot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And we need to go to Fun Spot too. We really should.
But so what I was saying is, other than the aesthetics or maybe like maybe nostalgic reasons, because obviously wooden coasters came first. What is the draw for coaster fans of wooden coaster?
So Buccaneer confirms that FunSpot is where Mind Blower is, and yes, that the Hades 360 is wooden. So, all right, I guess if you do it right, sure, yeah, you can.
Yeah. There are multiple fun spots. It's not just the one that's next to Universal. The one by us is a bit small, but they do have something that's pretty cool. When MGM Grand opened in Las Vegas, you might have saw this in the our Legoland video. They actually had a theme park, which I didn't know. I think I was there when the MGM Grand theme park was there. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go, but they had a large ride where we get raised up onto a tower and then go flying.
Oh yeah,
that ride was in Las Vegas. It was in storage for a few years, and now it is right close to Universal Orlando in FunSpot.
And Duchess is saying go to FunSpot, and that she loves all coasters. She doesn't discriminate. And I'm with Duchess.
I don't hate coasters. I just can't handle them.
And I'm with Duchess. I want to go on everything, so I try to, hey, that looks like fun. Let me try it.
Yeah, that's Stella moving the table this time. So yeah, maybe we'll head over there at some point. I know we want to do like mini golf and stuff like that. Would really help is, and I've mentioned this in the past, but I haven't mentioned it in a little while. My original channel, which is called Roddy Paws, ROTTIEPAWZ, that I've had for over 10 years, and that's when where we started with going to Universal for Halloween Horror Nights. We put those videos up there. That channel, I need to get to 1,000 subscribers on it, because that's a large portion of the money that was coming in for the monetization, and things like that help us go to places like FunSpot.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that I wish we still had. I wish I still had that income from. And again, like I said, I'll put in the description the affiliate link for Amazon, but it is in every single video, and that's something that doesn't cost anything. If you're buying from Amazon, you just follow it, and it costs you the same amount. So,
and Duchess says that she's not sure if she'll do the Skyflyer because it looks insane, and yeah, I'm a little nervous to go on it, and I know that sounds weird because a roller coaster, woohoo! But
when he's afraid, that it's pretty freaky.
Yeah,
I was surprised when we went to Busch Gardens and you went on Falcon's Fury. Falcon's Fury?
Yeah. I
was like, oh, he'll be like falling asleep, so boring, whatever, nah. Yeah. But this guy was like,
in the beginning, I was like, I don't know, like because it goes up like real slow, and I'm like, this is boring. And then you get high enough, and I'm seeing the horizon in downtown Tampa, which is, off in the distance. I'm like, ooh, I'm up there. And then they do this, and you're looking straight down at the ground. I'm like, woo. And
maybe Brian made a mistake.
Yeah, and they hang you there for like 12 seconds. Yeah. So you've got nothing else to do but think about
where you're about to go.
Yeah, but like once they drop you, the adrenaline kicks in. You're like, "Wah, this is awesome."
The thing that would bother me the most about that is the way that it sounds when it goes. It goes, yeah. So it sounds like it's like a 50-year-old ride that's about to break at any moment.
But look, it's kind of like when you go on the Hulk. You don't hear. You do not hear that. You don't. And I've even been paid attention and gone on the Hulk, like, all right, here comes the roar. You can't hear it.
Which is weird because you can hear it like a mile or two away.
It's because if you look at the Hulk, the speaker that does the roar is pointed down at the ground. So it's more for the guests on the ground than you, because you are the one hulking out. You're like, raw.
And the funny thing is, the first time we went to Busch Gardens, I thought the sound that Falcon's Fury was making was some weird noise that like one of the elephants was making. And then later on, I was shooting video of about that ride, and like, oh, there's that sound again. It was coming from that.
Mm-hmm. So Buccaneer asked, did we hear anything about the new indoor park coming to Miami?
No, that's the first I've heard of that.
Mm-hmm. That sounds cool because for a long time there was like nothing like theme parky in South Florida.
It's like Parrot Jungle. That's it.
Yeah.
There was, although I don't want to go there because I can't stand the Miami-Dade County. There was a Six Flags water park in Broward County. They were working on building a new water park. I don't know what happened with that. But Hurricane Andrew came and just wiped that thing out. And apparently, I guess insurance money wasn't enough to fix it, which is too bad. It was actually, for a water park, it was incredibly spread out. Now it's a really good shopping center, which has my favorite Dave & Buster's, although I've only been to 2. I was going to go to the one in Miami. I just never got to it. The one here is nicer, but it's a lot smaller. And they don't have the classic games that Dave & Buster's Hollywood has, because they've had them just since, probably not since they came out, but they've been around for so long that they have room for the classic games. The arcade here is half the size. The eating area is half the size, but it's always a great time. The food is reasonably priced. It's always really good.
Yeah.
And like any arcade, you pay way too much for the prizes you win, but the point is you have fun doing it.
So Buccaneer says that the world's steepest drop on a coaster will be at this new park in Miami.
Oh, wow.
So what he's talking about is that probably that first initial drop.
Yeah.
Like the Rip Ride Rocket seems to have a pretty good one. But
we're eventually going to have the world's highest roller coaster, or the highest drop. If you're wondering why I haven't put any videos up about the construction of that, is because there isn't any construction about that. Nothing's happening with that. The property that's going to be on, there's a Perkins there that is going to get demoed. It hasn't yet. I've been trying to pay attention to the.
Take care, Rob. Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, Rob Fuzz is leaving.
There's also the Hulk Hogan's Surf Shop is going to be moving. I'm not sure when. I'm getting brand new cards printed for media events like I went to for the Justice League. So once that should come next week, I'm going to go back over to the surf shop and say, hey, I don't know who does your PR, but please let me know when this new place opens. So hopefully we can go to that as well.
So Buccaneer 22S, are you going to ride the new Starflyer when it opens up? He's going.
I'm not, but he will.
He's going to the grand opening, so he's going to shoot that.
Grand opening ceremonies.
Yeah. I am working, so I would have liked to go because I was actually hoping that we would go together and he would be able to shoot me, but it'll have to be another video. All right, so Phenomenal Brain says we stopped at the Epic McDee's on our last Orlando trip, partially based on your video.
Cool.
And was surprised at how big and fun the arcade was.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
And quiet too. Usually you're like yelling because all the games are at full volume.
Yeah.
But we were surprised. I mean, it's a full arcade with a prize shop. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's they said it's the world's largest entertainment McDonald's. But yeah, you're lucky to find a video game usually in. So how did you like it?
Well, she said it's like Dave & Buster's on a dime. Which
although to be fair, it's a lot more expensive than I had expected the food to be. But
well, we also got that specialty food that they make.
Even like regular food at McDonald's seems to be really overpriced anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, Dave & Buster's seems a pretty reasonable price to me, especially if you go on half price Wednesdays or get the dine and play, eat and play.
Yeah, eat and play. Yeah.
Which you get like a $10 gift, $10 play card for I forget what it is, but if you work out how much the cost of the meal is, it's significantly less.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about Dave and Buster's is they still have these cards hanging over the games that say you can play this at home and earn real tickets. Well, you can't. The games, the apps have stopped working, and they've actually been pulled from the app store, which is too bad because I didn't start playing those for a while, and you really were able to play the games on your phone, and it would put the tickets on your card.
So Phenomenal Brandy also adds that she had a McPizza. It was pretty decent, but not amazing, which I think was basically what you said. I had the pasta, which I thought was good. Plus, they have Mac tonight. Yeah, we like that too.
Yeah, it was it working? Because it was when we went, it wasn't working.
I think didn't we go one time and he was doing a set because he said, "Oh, I'm taking a break."
I don't think so.
It
might have been the music, but I don't think the animatronic was working.
Yeah, no, the animatronic. But we spoke to the manager, and he said that the Epic McDonald's is basically a museum, kind of.
Yeah, that they kind of sometimes throw out it's the world's largest entertainment McDonald's.
Yeah.
I would have thought that there would be a larger McDonald's than that. It's huge, but it's not as big as I would think. Where is the world's largest Where is the world's largest McDonald's now?
Because Buccaneer just said that it's
right, but I mean that means another one is open. So I'm asking like where is the new world's largest? Probably like Dubai or something. I would think it would be like New York City, because I've been into a giant McDonald's in New York City that's two stories.
But seeing Mac tonight, that was really cool, especially being 80s kids and seeing those ads.
So, but I was surprised to see like McDonald's served on like actual. For some reason, we got ours to go, even though we specified not.
Because after a certain time of night, all orders are to go.
But they like get served on plates with like garland and stuff like that. The pizza looked pretty good. It was all right. I kind of a little more of a pizza connoisseur. If you're ever in the area and you have enough time, there's a place called Anthony's Cold Fire Pizza. Their pizza is really good. There used to be a place called Pizza Fusion. It's no longer in Orlando. That's amazing pizza. I've had pizza like that, and it's kind of it spoiled me.
Yeah. So Alan McGuire. First off, welcome, Alan. Hello.
Thank you.
He says, what are our speculations for HHN 28 this year? And are you both going to work the event again this year? I've auditioned to be a scare actor again. I have to wait and see. And if they say no to me, it's not personal. It's based on if they can fit me into a role. I have to look the part. It's not that, all right, well, why don't you go into this vampire house where everyone else is really tall and skinny, just try to make it work. I have to look the part. And last year I looked exactly like my character.
Like freakingly.
Yeah.
Freakishly so.
This guy doesn't want to do.
I'm not going to go as what some people call ops. It's really attendance or spotter or QP, depends on where you're. But it's a part of attractions. I had a crazy string of things that went wrong last year, and I just don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I kind of had my fill of setting up and breaking down ropes. Especially because in my department, the department I'm in, we move barricades all the time. The thing is, well, like us, a lot of people who work Halloween Horror Nights as an attendant, that's their first job at the Universal. So they're new, but so it's not fair to say that people in attractions don't know how to handle barricades, because maybe it's all the new people, but oh my gosh, they don't know what they're doing. And I'm used to working with, because we work with barricades all the time, I'm used to working with those where I'm like the one who's the least, who's the worst at properly moving. Went from that to like, I'm a barricade genius and like things like that. Plus I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing as far as my job. If I get a new job, I'm not going to have the availability. So I'm going to probably have a limited role in events, which means I'll be, we talked earlier about the holding area. that that you go in if you're staying for Stadium Scream. We events handles that. Everyone you see in orange, I think it's orange that we wear, or is it blue? Anyway, the people who manage the holding area and scan your tickets and stuff like that, that's the department I work in.
Mm-hmm.
We also work outside of the park, right at the arches, for the annual pass holder days. If you're an annual pass holder, definitely do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I might be helping out with stuff like that. It's a much shorter shift, so unfortunately, but I'll have more time to go through and hopefully shoot a video like I did last year. That's something I've wanted to do, but haven't.
Well, I requested opening night off. I just like going as a guest opening night. It's kind of a tradition. So I told this guy to go ahead and try to try to get off opening night. That we can go together and we can shoot the video.
If you remember last year, after 6 years of us going together for Horror Nights, I was like, well, Brian's working, or not working, but I'm working for opening night. I'll just go on my first night off, and it'll be fine. I'll just go around, and I do that all the time, but
it didn't really work.
It just was awkward. It's like, cool, that house was fun. How do you think about that, Brian? Oh yeah, he's not here.
And first off, hi Matt / CJ.
Hello.
Elcoast.
Hello, Matt and CJ.
He says, hi, I'm new to the channel and I'm going to Florida Universal Studios in 13 weeks, staying at the Royal Pacific for 2 weeks.
13 weeks. That's unlucky.
But he's going to be staying for 2 whole weeks.
Wow. That's a lot of express.
Yeah. So I definitely think you'll be able to see everything.
Yes.
If it's your first time, definitely go on what you want to see first. And go ahead, see some old attractions because you never quite know when they're going away. The higher ups, they know a few years down the road.
Yeah.
Or they at least have an idea and they're talking about it. We hear it last. And then, of course, the general public hears it very, very last.
Pretty much the same time, though, really.
Yeah.
It's the whole, like, if we don't know, we can't spill any secrets.
Mm-hmm. But like we were talking earlier about Terminator 2 closing, and he was saying like some elements just wouldn't work anymore. And they probably knew, so like they're probably not trying to keep as well because they knew that, well, it's had its run and we're going to close it at this time. And
I was surprised that they put any work into it at all.
Mm-hmm. Well, they have to keep it operating.
But I mean, for upgrading the video and the pre-show. Yeah. We also the kids Woody Woodpecker's Kids Zone was supposed to be gone by now, but that's there. Are you going to use your early park admission?
He should.
It's depending on when you're in 13 weeks. I don't remember if that's. Sometimes we have early park admission in Islands of Adventure. Sometimes it's in Universal. During the summer, it's both. Well,
basically, let's say 2 months from now. Actually.
But I'm not sure what I asked one of my supervisors, even he's not sure. It goes by demand. So you may have it, but early park admission, I believe, is at Volcano Bay all year. And at that time of the year, absolutely, especially because you have early park admission, definitely I would say on one of those days, go to Volcano Bay, find out what time it opens and get there earlier, because that's going to start hitting capacity every single day and early.
So Matt thinks he's going to be around the start of Horror Nights.
Oh, okay.
So Matt, during the daytime, it should be pretty quiet. Everything's going to be open. The crowd shouldn't be that bad, but definitely always go to your high priority first, no matter what. Like, let's say you want to go to Rainy Kong and it's like a 60-minute wait, which it might be. Just go ahead, slug out the line. You'll have Express, so go ahead, use it.
Yeah, definitely. Which is the good thing is that it's been a little bit, but now they have it at all the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, which is something they did not have before.
All right, so he's going on the 3rd of September, which isn't quite Horror Nights. Horror Nights doesn't start till September 14th. But yeah, that's a good time of year to go. The park should be pretty quiet. So
as far as fear factor, we're not sure.
Yeah.
Speculation is a Ministry of Magic, but that's
speculation.
It might not be it. I just hope it goes away soon, because if it's going to be there it's looking more and more like it's going to be there during Halloween Horror Nights, and that's going to be very upsetting.
I think at this point it's definitely going to be there for Horror Nights. And Alan asks, what are our thoughts on Nintendo Land coming to Universal? I am very, very looking forward to that. I've been playing Nintendo games since the old NES days. I'm an 80s kid. Yeah. I bought a Nintendo NES with allowance money, and then I bought a Super NES, and years later, a 64, and I've always liked Nintendo. I've always liked the games they make. I like Sony games, like the PlayStation games. I like Uncharted. I like Crash Bandicoot, Crash Team Racing. But I was never big on Pokemon, but Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Donkey Kong, all that. I've always loved Nintendo, so I'm looking forward to it. And I'm even kind of kicking around the idea of transferring over to Nintendo Land when the time comes. But it's going to be a pain in the butt for me to get there. But I'm thinking about it.
Well, there was at one point they were going to take away Kids Zone and make it the Nintendo expansion, but that was put on hold for a little bit. Even with the magical money of Harry Potter, they still have some limits. They wanted to open in Japan and have it be a little bit exclusive because it's Japan, and that's where the company. Well, I don't think it started there, but the company has been based in for a long time. I did see there's a video or image on Twitter a while ago with Shrek, and there's something about Shrek is not going anywhere in Orlando.
That's interesting because Buccaneer just asked.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Okay.
And so based on that, it seems like they're not going to get rid of it anytime soon. I kind of would like to see them get rid of it, but that's because I've never enjoyed Shrek, so I don't enjoy the ride. But it's been the same ride, if I understand correctly. It's been the same ride since the park opened. It's just been themed differently. Just like Despicable Me, Mini Mayhem, it's been the same ride. It's just its third iteration, so anything that goes in there is likely going to be the same ride with a different theme.
Well, in Hollywood, it became Kung Fu Panda.
Oh.
So we're thinking, but I mean, from what you heard, that maybe not. So who knows? But DreamWorks is part of Universal now. So Kung Fu Panda, How to Train Your Dragon, Madagascar, all of that is now potentially an attraction. Phenomenal Brandy asks, what Nintendo games or series would you like to see as attractions? And for her, it's going to be Pokemon. Yeah. What about you?
I will, like everybody else, I want to see a real life Mario Kart. That's going to be hard. It's going to require a crazy amount of space. It could be something like what we saw, which is coming more common. We saw at Legoland, where it's a combination of a physical ride and VR, which I think is kind of silly, because if your entire view is obscured, you're not on a simulator, but you might as well be. Maybe it's too early to try the technology. I would rather see something more like augmented reality, where you can see what's going on, but other elements are added in. That is still a little on the glitchy side, but that would be cool. But I'm pretty sure that all the rumors have shown that there's going to be some sort of Mario Kart.
I would personally like to see Zelda. Seeing the Deco Tree in person would be just amazing to me, and I'm sure many people who played Ocarina of Time would agree. Or just anything Zelda. I would hope that they would stick with Ocarina of Time or maybe Wind Waker, or
as long as they don't do anything about Zelda 2, because
I like that game. But
that was creepy and wrong.
But yes, Matt, definitely, since you're going to be there for the 18th, you'll be there opening weekend for Horror Nights. So yeah, go ahead, get tickets. And good news for you, Matt. They have a deal for the first 2 weeks. If you buy a Horror Night ticket, you get another free.
Which they've never done before.
No, this is the first year they're doing that. It's to help bump up attendance for those first 2 weeks. And it's a really good deal because Horror Night tickets are at least like $80. So go ahead, take advantage of that. Invite some people, say, hey, you know what? I can cover your ticket, because you can. If you buy a ticket, you will have another one automatically. And you could use it, I guess, for a second night if you have no one else. But you could say, hey, you know what? You want to come see Horror Nights? I got your ticket, dude. And Phenomenal Brandy says that she heard Nintendo's coming to Japan first to capitalize on the crowds. Yeah, we heard that too. And
well, they actually are building it. We're not aware of any construction.
And well, she says they're going to time it with the Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah, that's what I heard it. I heard it might be open a little bit before because they're ahead of schedule, but I'm not sure about that.
Mm-hmm. Buccaneer asked, wasn't it different when it was the Alfred Hitchcock attraction? When it was Alfred Hitchcock's attraction, wasn't it a lot different than what is now, I think, Mini Mayhem? No? Same thing?
No, Hitchcock, you're talking about the actual attraction. I think that, yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Yeah, maybe you're right. But I'm thinking of Mini Mayhem. I believe that hasn't changed. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about the actual Bates Motel. But yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. I miss those days of the actual production, like production focused attractions and theming for they've moved away from that, unfortunately.
All right, so we got a few questions now. Duchess asks, will they do Freakin' Fear again? I'm sure they will. That seems to be
we used to do that. It's a great deal, even if we only came up a few times. Mm-hmm. It's definitely worth it.
But yeah, that seems to be like one of their.
And last year, I think was it last year or the year before, the first time they had actual every single night as a pass, because it used to be like every night except for these nights.
I think for Horror Nights 26, Ultimate Freakin' Fear was the first night they did that, that's right. And then for 27, they added some more for Freakin' Fear.
Yeah. I think they call it the second mortgage pass.
Yeah.
Firstborn pass.
The first night, Matt, is going to be a Friday night. Should be September 14th. But Horror Nights always starts on a Friday. And Saturday and Sunday, of course, is opening weekend.
And then Thursday is always the team member preview, which last year, for the first time in a long time, was only team members.
Yeah.
Because they used to be a guest.
And Alan asks, what are our thoughts on Stranger Things and Dead Exposure coming to 28?
I don't know much about oops, sorry. I'm trying to get a dog out of the way. I don't know much about Stranger Things other than what I learned at Bill and Ted.
Mm-hmm. We don't watch the show. We know it takes place in the 80s. And we know it's about aliens and there's something about an upside down. I've seen clips of the show. That's about it.
Yeah, I saw like a summary.
We both have to do homework on that. As for Dead Exposure, I'm actually excited to see that, because when I first read it, I was like, oh, zombies.
Yeah, again.
But see, like, there's just an oversaturation of zombies. Like, zombies this and zombies that.
Or walkers.
Yeah. But for Dead Exposure, I was excited because it's been exactly 10 years since that first Dead Exposure house. So I like that. And the fact that it's a prequel, it's Patient Zero. I'm actually looking forward to Dead Exposure. It's kind of somebody I work with who's actually one of my leads. He was a scare actor in the first Dead Exposure house, and now he, as a hobby, he does makeup and special effects, and he's really good at doing zombies. So I was like, dude, you ought to go for makeup and go for Dead Exposure, because it's going to be a nice, full circle for you coming back after 10 years.
So somebody's good at makeup?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we should contact him, because when we've done makeup before for our Halloween Horror Nights reviews, it's pretty clear that we don't do makeup.
We're okay at it. We've gotten better through just doing it.
We look at the box and like, oh, look, this makeup is nice and smooth and like it looks terrible.
But yeah, makeup. We've gotten okay at it. But like people who are good at makeup, my whole team for Horror Nights, they were phenomenal. They could even play around with it. Like when I was supposed to have a blood trickle down the nose and go in here, and then one night I said, "Hey, can you do both?" I didn't end up liking the way it looked, but that's all I did was say, "Hey, can you do it?" But I didn't like it. But it was a little too much. The one blood trickle was great. So what do you say we wrap up?
All right.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining the stream. Thank you all for the questions and the comments.
Yeah, that's a lot more. I was thinking that maybe nobody would show up or very few. But wow, it's a lot of you who came, and thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's going to get better. I want to look into that software more. We'll have a little more preparation. We don't know exactly how often. I'm thinking maybe like twice a week. Or maybe not twice a week. Every other week for now. And if it picks up, it becomes more popular, and maybe we'll do it more often. It's also going to be a problem with our schedules lining them up.
Yeah. Alan made one more that he forgot Trick or Treat was coming, and
yes,
we're both definitely looking forward to that. That was both of our favorite zone last
that
year.
Was cool. We always like that area.
Yeah.
So.
But it's kind of funny. When I auditioned for Scare Actor, I met one of the performers who was Sam last year, and I said, "You're probably going to be Sam again." She's like, "Yeah, probably." Duchess says, "Thanks, guys, and see you next time." And Matt said, "Thank you for the help with Horror Nights."
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Next time we're going to try to announce a little more in advance, but we weren't sure because of all the technical problems, and I was shooting, and we're doing a bunch of other things today. So I got stuck over at Volcano Bay today. I got on the bus it was like, okay, I'll take the bus back from Volcano Bay. Sat there for 20 minutes, and then they made us get off the bus and go onto a different bus.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
Yeah,
and then as soon as I got off the bus, the moment the bus stopped, it poured.
Yeah. Becky and Max says, "Thanks, guys. You have the best theme park channel on YouTube."
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Becky. That's why I did the.
Yeah. Our perspective is I wanted to go to Universal when it first opened in 1990. You probably would. I don't know if you knew about it yet.
I didn't even know about it.
I wanted to go to Fright Nights, the very first what became Halloween Horror Nights, and we wanted to go for years. So we know what it's like to be an outsider who wants to go to the parks. So I try to keep that in perspective and think about how it was for me, and I try to show everybody on the channel what you don't get to see. We like you said, we used to come here. We barely had time to sleep, so I like to show like hidden things. I really need to work on my Easter eggs videos, and I'm going to be working on very soon videos for every single on-site hotel. But that's pre-production, and I'm not very good with that, unfortunately.
Matt asked, "How much are the private cabanas at Volcano Bay?" I think you can answer that.
I'm sorry. I know I knew it last summer, but I forget. I believe it depends on when. Sorry,
and I think there's levels to it.
There's a 6-person and a 12-person family cabana, but it's not a set price. It's based on market, what they think they can get for it. Mm-hmm. For a first while, when Volcano Bay opened, every single day they were booked. So of course they're going to be charging a premium price. You come in, January, if it's not closed to weather, I'm sure they're going to give you one at a very good price. And there's also premium seating, which is like 2 seats together with a locker that may or may not work. That's a lot cheaper, but it's not full cabana with but you do still get drink and food service at the premium seating.
Well, Phenomenal Brandy said, "We booked a cabana at Volcano Bay It was $150 for the last day of October, but totally worth every penny. So, Matt, they are a little pricey, but look, it's your cabana. Nobody should be screwing around in there. You can probably leave your stuff.
There's a safe. There's a safe in the cabana that works with your tapu tapu. You just put it up there and it unlocks. Whoever locks that box, that's the only tapu tapu that works with it. And then of course you have the water and the towels and stuff.
Yeah, like that's true. Like they give you towels and they give you water. You don't have to go and pay for them.
I'm surprised that they won't give you any more water because it's like $1 a bottle and you're paying a lot. But
yeah,
but for me, I wouldn't do it because I would be spending all the time in the park. But you know, obviously, people find there's some like they're right next to the attractions. There's some that are kind of further away, the quieter areas. I did notice that in Run Amok Reef, they put up some ropes to keep people because they used to be people would sit like right outside the cabanas and they're like, well, what do we pay all that money for? So they have worked on that. What for some reason people don't like hanging out and talking to Vol in the volcano. He or she, depending on the time, is usually just by themselves. So
well, that's a good tip. Is Vol is an interactive volcano spirit, so you will actually talk to Vol. Vol will actually answer you and tell you jokes, tell you stories.
Oh yes, there's a really nice. Thank you. I forgot about. There's a really nice fruit basket that comes with the cabanas, which is nice.
Yeah, and outlets for charging.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well,
music and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. And she says they were in the ones near the 2 drop slides.
Oh, okay. I'm guessing that's. Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, no. I think she means.
But there aren't any cabanas over
there. There are kind of over like across from the entrance. There's some cabanas.
All right. Well, definitely do early park admission for that. And what I would last thing is if you're going to Volcano Bay for the first time, my advice is to go tap into a ride and wait. Don't go and explore it right away because once the park is open for a while and the wait times get longer, that's when it's a good time to look around and explore the park. Because then they'll be looking for other things to do.
Mm-hmm.
But when the wait times are low, like go do the rides. My advice. So.
And I agree with that suggestion.
Yeah. So I think that's about it. Thanks for making this way more successful than I expected.
Yeah, Matt says it was a great stream. So thank you, Matt.
Thank you. The dogs make it a little interesting. So, all right.
Bye, guys.